ladies and gentlemen, people are sending me a photo of Joel Embiid for the 9th season in a row, telling me, look, Eastwood. He looks like he lost a ton of weight. He looks like he's in the best shape of his life. He means it this time. He really, really, really means it this time. And this photo shows us that Joel Embiid means it this time and that he actually lost a lot of weight and he's in the craziest, best shape of his life. We're going to look at the photo. We're going to look at some other photos. Maybe we'll compare it to last season. Maybe we'll compare it to his rookie season. And a thread that I found on Twitter that I want to get your opinion on. Right now.
Run it back, Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros.
Perfect. Give me my hat.
Run it back, Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros.
All right, so here is the photo everyone's sending me of Joel Embiid standing next to Jason Tatum and Drew Hanlon. Drew Hanlon, who is 99.9% successful in training basketball players to be better at their skill sets. Don't forget that he was supposed to fix Markelle Fultz's jump shot, and that did not happen. But other than that, he's a well-renowned, well-respected NBA trainer. So there's Joel Embiid standing tall, and I don't want to downplay anything. First of all, I want to say this. Let's say Joel Embiid was 20% body fat, okay? I would guess that he's right around 18 to 20% body fat. Last season. Let's say last season, I would say that he's around 18 to 20% body fat, okay? You can go on a 2-week strict diet. You could cut calories to I don't know what he eats a day, probably 5,000. I don't know what a 7-footer, eats like, but if he cut his calories by 25% a day, right? If say he eats 5,000, say he cut it down to, on my math is whatever. Say he cut it down to 3,000 a day, lots of water, lots of salads, lots of protein. Let's say he cut out carbs for 2 weeks, whatever it was, okay? You could look drastically different in just 2 weeks. You really could. If you go from 21% to 16%, you will look a lot different. If Joel Embiid had, I don't know the exact amount, but let's say he lost 3 pounds of fat. That's a lot of body fat to lose. You would look very much differently. Also, there's a light shining in from the window right there on the left side. And any light coming from the side is going to show, a lot more muscle definition. You can see the vein in his arm right there. I'm just saying, don't be fooled by a photo. Or don't take a photo and make it the end-all, be-all. Look, oh my God, look at the amazing shape that Joel Embiid is in. Lighting has to do with it. He could have just been on a strict diet for a week or two. But there's the photo, and there's my initial thoughts on it. What I'm saying is, I'm not taking a photo, and saying Joel Embiid's in the best shape. Being in great shape is more than just looking slimmer, in sunlight. I need Joel Embiid to last, pause, until the playoffs and be healthy in the playoffs. That's what I need. So let's look at some of his other weights that he's played at and compare them to this photo. Here's Joel Embiid in the photo that was sent to me yesterday. Here's Joel Embiid at Kansas at 245 pounds. Now, a lot of people were in the comments. One time when I said, I think Joel Embiid should be playing around 250. I think Joel Embiid should be trying to get back to the weight that he was at Kansas. And yeah, he still got injured at Kansas, but he was springier. He was more agile. And if he could get to around 250 like this, I think he would be an unstoppable force in the NBA. He wouldn't have this sheer shoulder strength, that he has right now, moving guys off the block. But the finesse, the spin moves would be quicker. The step backs would be quicker. And look, Joel Embiid's unbelievable at the weight that he's at. But if he could play at 150, I think he would be completely unstoppable. But I think this is a little bit unrealistic to ask of somebody like Joel Embiid. One of the things is that, cardio is how you would get down to that. And, Joel Embiid's knees probably on the inside look like a loaf of moldy bread right now. So, maybe a swimming pool, but it's probably just not easy for Joel Embiid to do the extreme level of cardio you would have to do to get down to 250. Who remembers when this photo came out of Joel Embiid in the middle of his foot rehab? This was before he ever played an NBA game. I think this might have been after he injured the foot a second time, the second season he was sitting out. We saw this photo, and people were like, wow, he's going to be unstoppable. Look how jacked he is. Again, lighting, makes you look bigger, more defined. A little bit of a flex on the arm there, holding the basketball. He could be literally the same as he could be the exact same weight and like body mass that he was the year before this. On this article specifically, they show a picture of him in let me see if I can get it up here. They show a picture of him in January right there on the right side. And then they show a picture of him in December right there. And he could be the exact same weight, exact same amount of muscle, exact same body mass, and just be flexing in better lighting. People need to understand that. You know that meme where it's like before and after and all the guy did was step back? Just don't fall for good lighting. Well, you do. That's how Instagram models get where they are. That's how these fitness influencers are selling you guys fitness programs for $50 a month because, good lighting. Flexing in good lighting will make you look, a lot more muscular than you really are. Anyway, you let me know in the comments. Do you think Joel Embiid is slimmer? And do you buy the fact that in season number 9, he's actually going to be in the best shape of his life like he's been saying his whole career? And will he actually work out this season instead of sitting on the couch the whole time? Will he have plantar fasciitis or some other bullshit excuse? Let me know in the comments. One more thing. In searching for these photos, I came across a thread on Twitter by Brickmuse that says, is playoff Joel Embiid a generational choker? The evidence behind the fraud accusations, a thread. We're just going to read it, and you give me your thoughts, and I'll give you mine. I think right off the bat, without even looking at the thread, yes. I don't know about generational, but yeah, he's dominated the regular season, and he has not showed up for the playoffs his entire career so far. That's why I keep saying, I've said on several videos, and I'll say it again, this upcoming season is the final straw for me with Joel Embiid. I need to see something different. I need to see something on the next level. That's just what has to happen. Number 1 by Brickmuse, the best team he's beaten in the playoffs, the 2022 5th seed Raptors, led by Siakam and Fred VanVleet. They couldn't beat the Raptors, when they took them to 7. Jimmy Butler had a lot to do with that. They couldn't beat the Raptors when they had Kawhi and Lowry and, Gasol was shutting down Embiid and Serge Ibaka was shutting down Embiid, and it was a team effort, and Ben Simmons was being the fraud that he is. Not really helping him out, but once those players were off the Raptors team, the Sixers took out the Raptors in 2022. Number 2, he averages 22 points per game on 49% true shooting in 9 elimination games. That's not good. The thing with Joel Embiid is that, and the thing that I'm really kind of tired of watching, it's more of an entire picture of the NBA, which is why I'm kind of over, him dropping 50 points against the Atlanta Hawks on a Tuesday night in November. I don't give a shit anymore. It's all fun. It's all fun in the regular season. Nobody's playing any damn defense in the regular season. Nobody. I don't care anymore if you average 33 and 12. I don't care. I don't care about the regular season anymore at all. Every single time we get into the playoffs and teams really start to amp up the defensive strategy and really start to throw different looks at you and really start to use different, packages and strategies to slow you down, How do you respond? Where is the counter? Yeah, you've gone from Brett Brown to Doc Rivers. There's no counter as far as coaching goes. But you as a player, and I know he just picked up a basketball when he was 16, but you as a player have to have a counter. You have to have a counter to your game. You know, what did the greats do when teams try to shut them down? They had a counter. They could pull something else out of the bag. You know, there's games where Kobe Bryant had an injured right shoulder and was shooting with his left hand. You know, if you want to be one of the greatest of all time, you have to be able to counter what the other team is throwing at you. Number 3, in no playoff run has he ever averaged more assists than turnovers. Again, they amp up the defense. For most of his career, he hasn't really had a facilitating point guard aside from just James Harden for a season and a half. So Joel Embiid having the ball outside the 3-point line in the playoffs has been a downfall to his playoff career year after year after year after year after year. Brett Brown did it so much it was mind numbing. Doc Rivers came in, did the same exact thing. Please do not give Joel Embiid the basketball 40 feet away from the basket in the playoffs. It just equals turnovers. And people keep saying, "Oh, he's working on his playmaking. He's working on stop it. He's 7'2", 280. He's going to turn the ball over in the playoffs if he has it in his hands as much as he has it in his hands 40 feet away from the basket." This is a coaching strategy problem. Joel Embiid's not going to get better at handling the ball at 30 years old. He's not going to get better at passing out of a double team. He's not going to get better at not turning the ball over when he has it out there. It's not going to happen. The coach has to have a better strategy. I think Nick Nurse will have that. Number 4, he is the only MVP in NBA history to never make the conference finals. That's not quite fair because there's MVPs that made the conference finals in their mid-30s. There's MVPs that won an MVP when they were 25 and made the conference finals with a different team when they were 35. This is a stretch right here. His career is not over yet, so you can't really say he never made a conference final. You can't say that till his career is over, so I don't like that one. Number 5, this year, he had the biggest point per game drop from the regular season to the playoffs of any MVP in history. That one's damning right there. Joel Embiid averaged 33 points per game in the regular season and 23 points per game in the playoffs. Number 6, he had 8 turnovers in back-to-back elimination games versus the Hawks in 2021. That was very bad. That was one of the Sixers' epic collapses, one of Joel Embiid's epic collapses, the end of the Ben Simmons era in Philly because he collapsed harder than any player I've ever seen collapse and even passed up a wide-open dunk to put the nail in his own coffin. But by the way, you guys with all this James Harden stuff, once in a while there's somebody in the comments that says, "Don't you miss Ben Simmons?" Fuck no, I don't miss Ben Simmons. What does James Harden being a bitch have to do with Ben Simmons? They're both frauds. Stop saying that to me. Number 7, he shot under 20% from 3 the last 2 playoffs. That's very bad. Number 8, he had a worse EFG than Russell Westbrook in the 2023 playoffs. That's horrible. Number 9, with a chance to go up 3-1, Joel Embiid went 0 for 12 in the second half versus the 5th seed Hawks in Game 4, including a missed wide-open layup for the lead. I remember that missed layup, man. Is this it right here? Look at that. That's horrible, bro. Dunk the damn ball. How long's the thread? Sheesh. 17. Okay, well, where were we at? Right here. Okay, let's go. Number 10, Game 5, down 3 with 15 seconds left. He missed both free throws to seal the loss. That's a choke. In Game 7, he got stripped by Danilo Gallinari to seal the loss again. I mean, what again, why is he trying to do a damn... Why? This is coaching strategy right here. 50 seconds left in the game. Why does Joel Embiid have the ball at the top of the key trying to do a spin move? Terrible play. All of his offensive stats are worse in the playoffs than the regular season. That's an easy one. He had just 1 playoff series in his career where he played in all 4 wins. That's a bad one. He's always injured. In 3 career Game 7s, he's 0 for 3, 49% total shooting percentage, 5.3 turnovers. You get the point. You get the point. Shout out to Brick Muse, I guess, for the Joel Embiid hate. But, you know, let me know in the comments. Is Joel Embiid a generational playoff choker? For me personally, this is my final year watching Joel Embiid. If I don't see something different in the playoffs, if I don't see something on another level in the playoffs, then it's time to move on. I mean that seriously, and I love Joel Embiid. I loved his career so far. I loved the fact that we've had a superstar in a Sixers jersey for the first time since Allen Iverson. But bread's getting stale, man. Hit the like button, all that stuff. We out of here. Peace.